Let's take a look at what we're working on today here on the Now. Hackers, they have a new trick to steal your credit card information when you pay. We're going to take a look at how it's beyond just those physical card skimmers you hear about. And a new type of art is giving new life to homes and garage doors in several neighborhoods, why some homeowners are changing their look. And security cameras are catching more porch pirates right in the act, but it doesn't really appear to be deterring them. So we have some other things that you can do to keep your holiday deliveries secure.
And welcome to the Now Indy 530. Love this view. In the distance, obviously, Indianapolis, and the angle's perfect that it begins to reflect the setting sun there. Also, at this time yesterday, 24 hours ago, you couldn't see the second turn suites because of the snow. Different story today. It was all about your sunglasses and the bright conditions. 29, that's our current temperature. That west wind at 9 miles per hour. Temperatures tonight won't be as cold as they will be Thursday morning. Skies are generally clear now, but you begin to see the influence of the next batch of clouds that will come in tonight. That will help us a little bit from temperatures falling off too much. The snow producers are off to the east. For us now, we'll have some of the clouds. You could see a flurry or two in the northeast portion of the state overnight. Temperature 22 in Tipton, 22 also in Crawfordsville. Those are the coolest spots. Temperature in Indy at 29 degrees. As we go through the evening hours, our temperatures slowly drop. They'll be in the lower 20s, and across central Indiana, the wind will generally be west at 5 to 10 miles per hour.
Thank you, Kevin. And only on our TV6, the controversy over a video highlighting fallen officers and their families. Facebook says it could not be posted. That drew outrage from the widow of a Metro police officer who asked RTV6 to get to the bottom of the situation. RTV6's Rafael Sanchez is working for you to get answers.
Mostly I see his legacy being that he was a great officer, and he was a great father and a husband.
Jamie Bradway will never forget September 20th, 2013. Her husband, Officer Rod Bradway, was killed in the line of duty while responding to the cries of a woman involved in a domestic dispute. He sacrificed his life to save another.
He served with integrity and honor.
Since Rod's death, Jamie has leaned on the group COPS.
COPS was there in the hospital with me the night that Rod was killed, at the funeral, and still there.
COPS stands for Concerns of Police Survivors. For families of fallen officers, it provides services and support. The not-for-profit recently produced this video entitled The Reason Why.
How do you tell your babies this? He gave his life for other people that he didn't even know.
It flashed before my eyes that I had to tell my kids that their dad was never coming home, and the whole forever thing. And I think at 29, I didn't know what forever meant.
COPS was planning to use the video on Giving Tuesday to raise dollars like all other charities promoting their good cause on that day. But Facebook deemed the heart-wrenching stories as inappropriate and denied its posting.
I thought, this can't be. But it was heartbreaking. You know, I'm a survivor, and it just felt like we were being attacked all over again. That how can such an amazing organization be denied this opportunity?
Jamie vented on social media, but wanted to know the reason for the video ban and put us to work. Our TV6 reached out to Facebook with Jamie's disappointment and disgust over the situation.
I don't believe what I did could make a difference.
You don't think so? Why is that?
No. I'm just a small voice, you know.
So I want to read you a statement from Facebook. Can I?
Yes, sir.
This is from Facebook. Thanks to what you sent to me and I sent to them. Quote, "We rejected this ad in error. We apologize for this mistake, and we are working to approve it so that it can run. The power of one."
Oh, wow. Wow. That's awesome. Wow. Thank you so much.
And that was Rafael Sanchez reporting. Now, despite Facebook's statement, the cops group is still waiting for the social media giant to allow for the posting of the video. Check out the video, which we posted within this story on our website at theindychannel.com.
Let's get to the Now newsfeed with former Trump deputy campaign chair Rick Gates sentenced to 45 days in jail and 3 years of probation today. Now, he's going to serve that time on the weekends. The light sentence is because he cooperated with the Robert Mueller investigation. Gates concealed bank accounts and committed tax fraud. The Pope has lifted secrecy rules for sexual abuse cases. The church will now hand over documents related to sexual abuse cases to civil authorities. Branches in some countries already do this, but this move makes it universal. A drug slowed Lou Gehrig's disease in a clinical trial. Now, the trial is looking at ways to treat ALS, and it's still ongoing. The results, though, are promising that there could be some new drugs soon to treat that condition. People in Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama dealing with some damage today after a series of tornadoes touched down. Now, the storms being blamed on a powerful winter weather front. Homes, churches, and other buildings were severely damaged. Now, just like all other technology, cars are evolving and becoming more complex. Now, more often, new cars are rolling out with driver assistance systems, and they're supposed to help us on the road. But researchers at AAA are finding they may actually be distracting us. In fact, their research found that drivers who use features like adaptive cruise control or lane keeping assist were twice as likely to drive distracted. And another interesting finding with this: drivers who were already familiar with the system were more likely to drive distracted.
There's a tendency for people to become a little bit complacent in terms of what their role and responsibility is because these systems are so capable. But really, they're meant to be driver support systems, and so the driver is really supposed to be alert and attentive and ready to take over or intervene whenever is necessary.
On the other hand, drivers who are not familiar with the technology were likely to be more careful. AAA does want drivers to keep a couple things in mind with this, and while these systems, they are meant to keep us safe, the risk of taking your eyes off the road doesn't change with it. Taking your eyes off the road for as little as 2 seconds can still double your risk of getting into a crash. Now, if you're still new to these systems, maybe you rent or you buy a car that comes with this technology, make sure you're still engaged while using lane keep assist and adaptive cruise control. Be aware that some of this technology still has limitations. All right, we have more to get to here in our lineup here on the Now. And you've heard of hackers using those card skimmers at the gas station, but now we're learning they're getting even more high tech and harder to detect. So we're going to talk about how you can still keep your information secure.
Down, zero deposit, zero first month, and zero due at signing.
More than 113,000 people are on the list for an organ transplant, and 20 people die every day waiting for a new one. New rules proposed today, though, could help change those statistics. The federal government wants to make it easier for people who are still living to donate their organs. The new rule would reimburse them for the time off, the job they would have during recovery, and also for child care or elder care expenses. Now, the other new rule would hold the organizations that collect organs from people who have died to stricter standards to make sure that organs don't go to waste. Currently, those organizations self-report. The new rule would require them to use federal death records. The government would also do annual evaluations. Hackers are upping their game and finding other ways to skim credit cards. Visa just issued a warning to customers because hackers, they're going beyond just those physical skimmers you hear about. Hackers are now going into the software in places where you swipe your card. So old school skimmers, they could actually be detected if you turn on the Bluetooth on your phone. They might come up. That was a way to try and see if they were there. But with this new problem, it means that way won't work. Instead, experts are suggesting that you just need to use good credit card hygiene.
If at all possible, don't use the mag swipe. If you can tap or there's a chip reader, those are essentially make you immune to this particular kind of attack. So do things like the phone pay systems, Apple Pay, Google Pay, these sorts of things.
Now, Apple and Google Pay are helpful because they have one-time use credit card numbers, so even if that number is compromised, it would be useless to hackers. There are also other ways to receive one-time use numbers. Some credit card companies will automatically issue them when you shop online. Now, there are also virtual credit cards that can be used only at one store. They have a shorter expiration date, and they come with a spending limit. So if you do decide to go that route, just note that not all credit card companies offer fraud liability. It may be difficult to get your money back if you decide to return something. All right, next in our lineup, a new type of art is giving some new life to homes and garage doors in several neighborhoods. We're going to talk about why some homeowners are changing their look.
For only $89 for On Time.
A growing number of women are owning businesses, and it can still be a challenge for them. So we took a trip to what's considered one of the best places in America when it comes to women-owned businesses to see what's working there. Building a business takes time. It's a step-by-step, day-by-day process.
I tell my customers, garments coming on sizes, but bodies coming on shapes, so I connect it.
To stitch together a living born from a vision.
The business started in 2008.
That can take years. Laura Hermosillo's journey to this shop, tucked away in a Santa Fe shopping plaza, started during a time when many might have just given up.
Between 2008 and 2010, I have several problems.
She came to the United States in 2004 with her husband and 4 children. She didn't speak English or have a job. Then, she says, she became the victim of domestic violence.
I decided to take my children with me and go out with nothing except the backpack.
She ended up without any place to live, in a homeless shelter. Laura started working to create this business, her shop, Alterations and More.
Everything you see around is new, and it's new for my new life.
A business that's grown to multiple rooms and employs multiple people, offering alterations and selling the kind of jewelry that's a staple of the city that she now calls home.
This is a great city.
I've lived here 40 years, and I do know from reading history, back all the way to the early settling of the West, that women had to be self-sufficient.
Marie Longsteer is the head of the Santa Fe Business Incubator.
I think there's a spirit for our history of women being able to succeed in outside of the old societal expectations.
Her nonprofit helps startups get off the ground.
We see a lot more women entering into engineering, sciences, math, and so forth in colleges and universities. That's a huge step.
And steps like that are important in creating a better future. So there can be more success stories like Laura Hermosillo, who stepped past adversity to build her business, not letting fear shut her down.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. If you're good, whatever you do, if you're good, you make it good, people gonna follow you, whatever you want.
Well, if you're starting to make summer plans, you might want to keep July 23rd open. That's when Peyton Manning's good friend Kenny Chesney will return to Central Indiana. We learned today he is bringing his Chillaxification tour to Ruoff Music Center in Noblesville on July 23rd. He's going to do 18 amphitheater shows on this tour, in addition to 22 stadium concerts. We haven't heard when tickets will go on sale for Ruoff. We will keep you posted.
I'm predicting dry and warm conditions, maybe even hot.
All right, we shall see.
Okay, beautiful. That's down in Bloomington, if my eyes are treating me correctly. Yes, skies are clear, a little bit of snow cover there. Last night, the Colts were getting ready to play, obviously, in New Orleans, so I created a football made out of snow and gave it a kick, and it didn't last long. That's what it would have been like if we played here. I'm just showing you what I do in my spare time, okay? Snow in the forecast. Not in this 7-day forecast. That's the good news. It turns toward temperatures, 36 hours of very cold temperatures. I think tomorrow we're lucky to make it to 25. We'll fall into the single digits Thursday morning. That's rock bottom. From there, we'll start to warm things up, and we'll call it a milder weekend. If you want the 40s back into Central Indiana, that will happen. Temperatures 29 in Indy now, 31 in Bloomington. We did make it to the freezing mark. Nice glow on the horizon as the city lights come up. Clouds will stream back in tonight. Could have a snow flurry in the northeastern portion of the state. Temperatures in the low 20s through 11 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow morning, not as cold as we will be Thursday morning. Still, it grabs your attention. We'll be in the teens. That's the way we get things rolling on your Wednesday. And we just don't really warm up much from there. Temperatures struggle all day. 23, the magic number. That northwest wind at 10 will make it feel cooler with wind chills in the lower teens through the day. These are the high temperatures, and that's really it. When I come back, we'll talk about the cold Thursday morning and look at your 4-day forecast as well coming up.
Let's start the Now newsfeed. Congress has agreed to spend $25 million for gun violence research. This is the first funding in more than 20 years to look at this issue. The money will go to the CDC and National Institutes of Health. Fewer people are being put to death for the 5th straight year. This is according to new information from the Death Penalty Information Center. Fewer than 30 people have been executed in the U.S. this year. Fewer than 50 new death sentences were given out. The cancellations continue to airlines with the 737 MAX. Southwest and American are canceling flights with the MAX through early to mid-April. Southwest owns the most MAXs and will pull about 300 flights every day as that plane is still grounded after 2 deadly crashes. New car prices, well, they're now almost $37,000 on average, and more people are getting turned down for new car financing. Nearly double the amount of people were rejected when they applied for a car loan in October compared to the same time the year before. This is according to a Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Some finance experts think that lenders are tightening up what were just too loose standards on qualifying for car loans. Bankrate is pointing out some concerning financial habits among people who aren't making all that much money to begin with. A survey found that people making $30,000 a year or less are spending more on vices than those who make more money. On average, spending $2,400 a year on things like lottery tickets, alcohol, and tobacco, even gambling. Well, this next story is about projecting beauty on an unlikely canvas. Usher Qureshi has the story from Chicago.
If you drive too fast, you could miss it. But a chance turn into this alley just north of Chicago will transport you into a drive-through art gallery.
I wanted to take this place, this alley, which is just ugly or lackluster, and make it into something special.
It's the brainchild of Evanston, Illinois-based painter and mural artist Teresa Parad. From floral motifs to interplanetary themes, her goal is to uplift people through her painting.
Right. I want all my public art to be positive because no one who walks down this alley, most of the people didn't ask me to paint this. So I don't want them to come and see something that is very negative or makes them feel unhappy.
The canvases range from 1.5 to 2 car garage doors. She only charges for material, the medium, house paint.
Or what I really like is when people come who are not in the neighborhood and they're just riding their bike or walking dog and they're like, whoa, what is this? And it's something special.
Teresa started with her own door, concerned with how her neighbors might respond.
Hey, this is my own garage, and I thought it would be fun to put the front of my house on my garage.
But many have embraced transforming the back alley into a gallery of vibrant public works of art.
When I came home, especially in the winter like it is now, I wanted to come home and have something that would make me smile. And other people, I hope, too.
For an enhanced experience, her husband, Bill, a sound artist and software developer, is creating an augmented reality app with customized vignettes designed for each door.
So that you could walk to them and you could hear something in 3D and walk around, and the birds and so on could fly around you.
The doors are now in high demand.
Everybody started asking me to do them, and I have a waiting list. So I hope to do the whole alley, and I hope to do more alleys.
And while Parad may see the world as her canvas, this time it's right up her alley. Reporting from Evanston, Illinois, I'm Usher Qureshi.
Usher, thank you. And finally in our lineup, security cameras are catching more porch pirates right in the act, but it doesn't appear to be deterring them. So ahead we have some of the other things that you can do to keep your holiday deliveries secure.